about the Arizona game. Number one, I thought our guys played our most complete game last Sunday. I was real proud of the way they played. Felt like we won the field position battle. We made all our kicks. Played hard, played with the enthusiasm and passion that we've been talking about all year long. And I think, really 3 weeks in a row, we've gotten better and better. We just got to continue that trend. And the second thing about that game is, I want to address the loss of Mike Hughes for the year. And that's very difficult for our football team, for our locker room, for me personally, because I saw him grow so much as a returner, as a gunner, as a football player, as a young man since the spring. He's a fine young man. He's a great addition to our football team. That one hurt. That one hurt a lot, like most losses do when a kid gets hurt. But that one hits home because he had done so many things for us on special teams. He was just continuing to get better, and it's kind of the tip of the iceberg type thing. But next man up scenario, like we normally talk about when a young man gets hurt, and we got to keep moving forward.
How comfortable are you having Holton Hill in those situations to pick up where Mike left off? Maybe now more so than where he was when he was just starting to become a returner early on this season.
Holton is going to have to fill in. He'll have to play more gunner. He'll be playing on kickoff and kickoff return as a returner this week. Punt returner, he's still a work in progress. I don't know how comfortable I am putting him back there as the returner yet, but he is working hard at it, and it doesn't come natural to him like it does to some guys, so he's going to have to continue to work at it. But he's another young man that's got a great attitude. His work ethic is outstanding. He's a great locker room young man. He's getting better than I thought he would be when he first got here. He just continues to impress me by the way he plays the game.
You also have Aldrich and Marcus. Do you know who you're going to put back for kicks this week, or is it going to be kind of like figured out as
figure out as you go, depending on how much guys are playing offense or defense? But being short at corner, maybe it's Marcus, or maybe it's Holton, or Aldrich is getting reps there as well. He'll get more reps today in practice. So it's kind of a work in progress, and see who's available and who's the most rested.
Where do you think Mike Hughes has grown the most as a specialist?
I think as a punt returner, he didn't get a lot of reps. Kickoff returner, we knew how dangerous he was. He had the real nice one against Green Bay. We just haven't returned a lot of kicks this year. Haven't had that opportunity. But he got better as a gunner. And the cool thing about Mike was that he relished the opportunity to get better. He was very, very coachable. He studied tape. It was important to him. Everything was kind of new to him, and I think he just kind of embraced the roles that he had for us on special teams, and to continue to improve.
You talked about how much he had done on special teams. How rare is that for not only a first-round pick, but also a guy who is contributing a lot on defense?
Yeah, I think it's very rare. Personality-wise, I think understanding how important he is to the football team, walking in, and I wouldn't say a lot of our guys in the past have just kind of shunned special teams when they became offensive, defensive stars. I think we have an incredible locker room, like I've mentioned before, in these type of press conferences. But Mike was unique for a young player that understood the importance of it. And I think having the veteran guys in there, the Harrison Smiths, the Adam Thielens, the Marcus Sherrills, those veteran guys who've been around the game a long time, and having them in the locker room kind of leading the way. Now the new wave of leaders are Anthony Harris's and Eric Wilson's and those types of guys that, I'm very fortunate to work with on a day in and day out basis. Having those guys kind of set the tone for the rest of the locker room has been huge.
With the wins at MetLife Stadium, or the potential wins, do you think harder about taking longer field goals than maybe you would at just another outdoor stadium?
It depends on in pregame, like it normally does in any outdoor stadium. We're going to get there. I always get there about 3 hours before the game, walk around the field a little bit, see what the winds are doing. Obviously, if they're gusting or moving around a little bit, it's going to change as the game goes on. But I think pregame, and then when we go out right before the third quarter, that's usually when you determine how far those field goals will be, what I recommend to the head coach.
Yeah, I know you haven't played there a lot, but how are the winds there? Sometimes it can be tough to make long field goals.
Yeah, I'm relying on Dan Bailey more because he's going in there every year like he did. He was at the Cowboys to go play the Giants, so I've relied on him a little bit this week. He's gone back and studied all his kicks at MetLife Stadium. He's talked to the punter. He's talked to the returners a little bit, and will continue to do so. But I think really game day is going to be, figuring out the winds, figuring out the sun for that matter, where the sun's going to be. Because I think I've coached one game in that new stadium. When I was with the Giants, we had an old Giant Stadium, so I'm dating myself, but that's where our offices used to be, in that nice old Giant Stadium. Never got cold in there either, the entire winter. I don't think there was any heat in the building, but that's a beautiful new stadium they have there. And I think the only game we played there was a night game, to be honest with you. So I don't know if the sun will be a factor. And you can see it on tape and stuff like that, but it's different. Every week the sun changes a little bit, and see where it's going to be.
When you talk about the special teams kind of evening out or improving the past couple weeks, what kind of role has Matt played
You know, Matt has gained a little bit more confidence. I think he had 5 punts the other day, 3 were outstanding. The other 2 were okay. 1 we got away with that we pinned down at the 5, and they had a penalty, so I think they started the drive at the 3. You know, anytime that you can, after kickoff and punt, you can have the opponent start the drive inside the 10-yard line. I think there was 3 of those and 5 overall inside the 20, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 4. But, you know, we really helped, you know, Matt helped our defense, our kickoff team helped our defense, and really that kind of set the stage for the whole game. We started fast, we played fast the whole game. That's our message to our team this week. We got to continue to do those types of things to help our defense. And then on the flip side, we had an explosive return, punt return of the plus 43 that set up that touchdown. I think our last touchdown there in the 3rd quarter. So there's a lot of good things that happen on field position that we need to continue to build on.
What's the key?
Any change with McDermott? I mean, I know it's been 2 games now since the injury. Is he snapping it differently, or how has he had to adjust in that sense?
I think the grip's a little bit different. His velocity may not be as normal. It's not much slower, and he's done a good job. I think he had 1 PAT snap at the end of the game, but after that last touchdown we scored in the 3rd quarter, the PAT snap was a little bit off, and Matt did a great job of getting it down. Dan stayed with it and drilled it right down the middle. So it's kind of a work in progress. He's a pro. He's trying everything. You know, we're hoping that he continues to heal up so he can take that little brace he's got off there, but it's not affecting him. He's a true pro.
How far away is he from getting that brace off, you think?
I think sooner than later. I don't know the exact timetable. I know we've talked about different things, but if I talk about injuries, I'll get in trouble. So even that injury, that's a gruesome one. The pictures are pretty cool, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen those. The HIPAA laws probably prevent that, but they are pretty cool, just to let you know.
You seen anything like that happen on the football field?
No, absolutely not. My wife actually was trading stories with him last week. She came to the whole time, went to Mass with us. Kevin's in Mass, and he does the readings and all that stuff. And so my wife got caught when she was a little girl. They were playing, I don't know, whatever Chase game. They were playing with her brothers, and she got a door slammed on it, and she lost part of her pinky. Her dad pulled it out, and they went and sewed it back up at the hospital. So Kevin and my wife were trading stories back and forth with each other. I just sat there shaking my head, said, "Good Lord, we got a game tomorrow. Let's go." We got to get focused here.
So while we're getting gruesome, did they ever find the tip of the finger?
No, but they looked for it at halftime. But unbeknownst to me at halftime, as I'm holding my breath, hoping we can get Kevin back, and even though David did a great job for us, the fellas, the specialists, went out and looked for it at halftime. They couldn't find it. It's whatever.
They're out.
It's gone forever now. It's the LA Coliseum.
They're out in the middle of the field looking for it?
Well, yeah, around where the PAT was, yeah, where it was snapped, yeah. Middle of the field, no. I think they had a good idea where it was. Probably stuck in somebody's face mask or something.
That's what I was gonna say.
Who were the ones that were looking for it?
The specialist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They would ask me, I would say no. That was good. I was out.
What's the key to getting Matt a little more consistent? Like you mentioned, he had 3 outstanding and then 2 kind of so-so.
I think with any young punter, I mean, if you're 3 for 5 and the other 2 you survive, I think that's a good start. You know, he's continually getting better. You know, he's never been the guy for the whole year, and I think he has to understand that every practice, every rep, every jugs rep he takes. Like today, we got him going out here in about right before practice, and he'll be working with the jugs as a holder, as a punter, taking his steps and doing this. It's muscle memory, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And until he gets to the point where he is a consistent punter, you're hoping for 3 of 5, 4 of 5, and then the other one you survive it. Especially this week. I mean, the punt returner for the Jets is Andre Roberts, and he's had a phenomenal year. In fact, his punt return average is 3 yards better than his kickoff return average, which doesn't mean he's a bad kickoff return guy. He's 21.5 average on 11 returns on punts. He's got a touchdown. He's got a 53-yarder, a 43-yarder, plus 78-yard touchdown against Detroit. So he's very, very dangerous. And so we can't just drive the ball down the middle of the field and hope for the best. We got to do the things that help our coverage team, and we got to do a great job protecting the launch point like we typically preach, and we're always preaching. We got to go down and cover, and our gunners got to have a great game, and Matt's got to be solid for us. So the more consistent he is, the better off we're going to be and be a weapon for our football team. What's
an update on just how Dan Bailey's doing and how he's continued to bounce back from those couple tough misses there at Philly?
Yeah, no, Dan's a pro. You know, he's came back last week and had a good week for us. He kicked off well for us. He made all his kicks, and I think anytime you work with a new snapper and holder, you're going to have some growing pains, and that's why we work so hard, in practice to get that relationship better, and hopefully those guys are more comfortable with each other. And we did some good work yesterday in the wind, and we're going to continue to do some more work today and continue to get better and improve.
Coach, what do you
you say about the Jets special teams and what they're effective at?
Besides Andre Roberts, who I promise you I will not sleep Saturday night because of him. He is so good. He breaks tackles. He can run. Makes the first man miss. He's fast enough to score. Their kicker, Myers, did a great job for him last week. Made 7 field goals, made the 2 extra points. I think he was a special teams player of the week in the AFC last week. Did a great job. They play fast. You know, they've got some guys banged up, so some of their guys might be some you know, interchangeable parts there on their kickoff and punt team. But you know, they're very, very good. Their punter, he's got a humongous leg, Locke Edwards, and remember him when he came out of Sam Houston State a couple years ago. He's another Aussie-style punter that's very effective, and you know, when he's on, he's very, very good as well. So, you know, like any team, you know, you got your work cut out for you, especially at home. You know, they're at their place. They're playing well. They've won 2 games in a row. Their crowd's going to be into it. There's a little difference between the Jets crowd and the Giants crowd. I found that out firsthand when I coached with the Giants. I think those Jets guys are a lot like Philly fans. They're very, very passionate and get after it, like the Giants fans. But I think the Jets fans are a little bit more vocal. So it's going to be a fun day.
After some early struggles in coverage, what's been the key to improving? And seems it's been pretty good lately.
Well, the early struggles in coverage were in the preseason. To be honest with you, I think since the season started, we've been pretty good, and we want to keep that trend up. We kept the guys that were good, and we didn't keep the guys that weren't so good. I think that's usually what it comes down to. Thanks for bringing up those bad plays from preseason. Like I haven't lost sleep over those. Thanks, appreciate that.
Oh, I want to get you prepared for Saturday night.
No,
Lack
right.
of sleep.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping Saturday. Thanks to Andre Roberts. Anything else? I want to keep this going because whoever's transcribing this, I got to have it. I got till 11 o'clock my walkthrough.
Those
ready.
Those two, you just made their life hell.
That's right. That's my goal. We good?